We're going to come onto all fours, hands and knees. Your hands are underneath your shoulders and your knees are hips distance apart. And we're going to actually bring our knees out as wide as our mat, bringing our toes together. We're going to sit back on our heels and come into extended child's pose. So just allow your hands to slide all the way forward, resting your forehead on your mat. We're going to hold each pose for 5 to 10 breath cycles. When you're ready, we're going to come back up to our hands and knees, and we'll do some cat-cow tilts. So you can tuck your toes under or keep them flat on the mat. And you'll inhale, lifting your heart and your tailbone at the same time towards the sky. And exhale, press the mat away from you, bringing your chin towards your chest. Inhale, heart and tailbone to the sky. Exhale, pressing the mat away from you, chin to chest. And we're going to do this 4 to 5 more times at the pace of our own breath. You should feel a nice stretch in your back, in your shoulder girdle, in your spine. And we'll inhale back to center. We're going to come into thread the needle. So lift your right arm out to your side, and we're going to bring it under our body and across, bringing our shoulder down to the mat. You're going to keep your left hand on the mat firmly, pressing away. And again, we're going to hold this pose for 5 to 10 breath cycles. And we'll inhale back to center, and we're going to do the same thing on the other side. So this time your left arm lifts all the way out to your side. We'll bring it across our body, and we're going to come down, placing our right hand on the mat. You can also bring your hand forward if that's more comfortable. You should feel a nice stretch in between your shoulder blades, in your back. Really allow yourself to relax in these poses. Just breathing slowly and deeply. Close your eyes if you feel safe, if you're comfortable. And then your next inhale, we'll place our right hand on the mat and come back to center. We're going to lift our right foot all the way out and back, and we're going to bring it all the way up in between our hands, sending our left foot as far back as possible. Now you can stay here for pigeon, or you can come down to your forearms. You can rest your head on your hands. Whatever feels comfortable for you. This is your practice, so you do what's best for you. And remember, it's not about how you look in a pose, it's how you feel If you feel a stretch, you're doing yoga. Really allow yourself to drape your body over, just melting into your thigh. You should feel a really nice deep stretch here in your hip and in your back. We'll take 2 more deep breaths here. And then we're going to come up onto our hands. We'll send our right foot back. Bring your knees back in line. And we'll do that on the other side. So inhale, lift your left foot back. And then bring it all the way forward in between your hands. Walk your right foot back as far as you can. And whatever you did on the right side, do the same thing on the left. You might notice that one side is a little tighter than the other. That's okay. Sometimes we're more flexible on our right than our left, or our left than our right. Just something to notice. We'll take 4 more slow, deep breaths on this side. And we'll inhale, bringing our hands back. We'll come back into all fours. We're going to slowly lower our body down to our mat and come into half frog. So bring your arms out to your sides like a T, and then bend your elbows to a 90-degree, palms facing down. We'll bring our right knee as close to our right elbow as possible and flex our foot. This is a nice hip opener. And again, we're going to hold the pose and take slow, deep breaths for 5 to 10 breath cycles. And on our next inhale, we'll slowly bring our foot all the way back to center. Leave your hands and arms where they're at, and we're going to do that on the opposite side. So flip your head the opposite direction and bring your left knee to your left elbow, opening up your left hip. Hold the pose and take slow, deep breaths. On your next inhale, we'll bring our left foot back to center, and we'll just bring our arms down to our sides, palms facing down, and take a rest for a moment. Let everything come back into its place. And we'll gently bring our hands back to the mat. We'll bring our knees up and we're going to turn on to our backs here. We're going to come into something called supported bridge. So if you have a bolster like I do, we'll use that. If you don't have a bolster, you can go ahead and grab a block. I prefer my bolster. So you're going to place your bolster on your mat. You're going to bring your back of your bottom all the way touching and just kind of roll over your mat. And then I like to lift and then gently lower my pubic bone so that way I'm completely supported on top of my bolster. Relax your feet. Your feet should be facing forward. Your hands are by your sides. And just let your body rest here 5 to 10 breath cycles. This is my absolute favorite. And on our next inhale, we'll slowly lift our pelvis and just pull your bolster or your block out of the way. Now with your hands by your sides and your feet facing forward, we're just going to shift our hips to the right, bring our hands out to a T, and we'll let our feet drop to the left, or our knees drop to the left for twisted roots. And you can hold any of these poses longer if you'd like. You can stay in any of them for a couple minutes if you'd like to. Just remember that if you do stay in these poses longer than 5 to 10 breath cycles, that you want to move very slowly coming out of the pose. And we'll inhale back to center. And we're going to do the same thing on the other side. So shift your hips to the left and send your knees to the right. You can look straight above you. You can look to the right or the left. You can close your eyes. Just allow your body to relax, melt, and be heavy in the ground. You should feel a nice stretch here in your hip and your lower back as well. We'll take 3 more breaths here. next inhale, we'll send our hips back and our feet back. And we'll come into our final resting pose. So let your feet drop to the sides of your mat, palms facing down. Get any wiggles out that you need to get out before you rest in Shavasana. Relax your eyes. Return to your natural breath. Let your body be heavy to the earth. Shavasana. Rest. On your next inhale, begin to slowly wiggle your hands and your feet, getting some movement back in your body. Maybe roll your wrists around, your ankles. And we'll slowly come back up to center. I hope you enjoyed our video today, friends. If you did, please like and subscribe so we can make more of these videos. Namaste.